you wouldn't have seen how it ended. It wouldn't have been in the script, would it have?
Not at all. Not at all.
So, during your third season, you guys parted ways and you stepped away from Kennesaw State. Share with me a little bit about what that journey emotionally was like for you.
You talked about your darkest times. Just to give all of you an idea, when you are this size and you stand out and you are the leader, you take your fair share of hits. I'll be honest with you, I didn't come out of my house for 3 months. 3. Went through depression. In my phone, I probably had 500 coaching friends that I felt like I could reach out to at any point in time. And over that 6-month span, 500 went to 50, 50 went to 20, 20 went to 10, and I still have those same 7 to this day.
What was the hardest part for you getting out of that spiral? So you got 500 coaching friends, but you got guys all over the country, but all of a sudden you find out who were the acquaintances and who were the friends. What were the things about those friends that stood out the most to you?
Actually, I had an opportunity to meet, and I'm actually business partners with him today, a guy by the name of Johnny Walker, who's actually sitting here in the audience. And we sat at Starbucks. And when I first met him, he started telling me what he was doing with Integrity ATL, what he was doing with foundational core values. The typical coaching side came out like, yeah, whatever, can't really help me, you know. But what I started to realize after meeting for about a couple months, I was sitting in that exact same Starbucks crying like a child because I needed somebody to encourage me, to challenge me, but more importantly, to defend me.
What did it do for you? You look back in the rearview mirror. If you hadn't have walked through that time, what would be different about Lewis Preston today?
I wouldn't have the spiritual walk that I have today, because in going through that process, I learned what my 5 foundational core values are, and I talked to you about this earlier. My 5 are very simple: faith, family, integrity, loyalty, wisdom. If you are not congruent with me in any of those 5, I will shake your hand, but I'm not going to do business with you. People who are in my inner circle, those 5 things are congruent. I'm very fortunate enough also, if I had not have gone through that journey, I would not have met a lot of people in this room, including Johnny, Emmanuel, Ben, Lindy, George, Doug, Andrew Cox, Jude Dooley. I mean, I just wouldn't have met those people because I had so insulated myself with all the material, all the accolades, all the patting on the back. You really do fall into that trap, and you can be humbled very quickly.
Where would Lewis be today if you, Johnny, hadn't walked in that story? If you hadn't have had that meeting at Starbucks and you figuring out who you are through that process, where do you think you'd be today?
I would be spiraling, still out of control, still focused on outcomes and results as opposed to being focused on the heart and making a true impact.
You even said earlier, one of the things that would be different is your girls. You did such a great job coaching everybody's boys. Your relationship with your girls would be a little different too, would it?
Absolutely. I tell people this. In my 17 years, probably coached 300, maybe 400 young men. Some of them have gone on to be professional athletes. Some of them have gone on to become coaches. Some of them are great fathers, great leaders in their community. But at that time, I wasn't raising my 2 girls. And I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, hence you can see some of the gray hair on my head. But being able to be at my daughter's tennis matches, to be able to drive around with them, carpool when they're in there with a group of their teenage friends, and the kind to be quiet and be present and listen, that's time you never get back. So value that while it lasts.
What would be a challenge you would have to folks? They may not be walking in the season that you walk through yet. We'll all walk through those tough seasons. What encouragement would you have for them about putting the right people in that close group around them? What encouragement would you give them?
I tell Johnny this all the time, and we still joke about it to this day. I told him I only wish I would have met him after my first year as a head coach at Kennesaw. And he asked me why. I said, I'd probably still be coaching. Because he would have totally changed my viewpoint on how to approach these young men and how to be more present in their lives as opposed to being focused. I had one foot out the door at Kennesaw before I even stepped in. I mean, I had this thing in my mind. By the age of 45, I was going to be a Power 5 Division I coach, probably in the Big Ten, maybe the ACC. But, you know, God changes your path, whether you're ready for it or you're not. And I've been very fortunate to surround myself with great people who encourage, challenge, but most importantly, defend me.
Would y'all thank Coach Preston for sharing that? I want you to take, I'm going to give you 3 minutes.